Watch out now, it's your girl Tasha with the LCL Show. I am here with
Adriel, the host of The Age of a Gentleman.
Watch out now. And today we are just basically talking about if you think you're ready, you're probably not. And this is why. Pertaining to relationships in particular.
Definitely pertaining to relationships.
And this is what, before you get into a relationship?
This is before. So this is, last episode we talked about identity and really finding out who you really are and identifying your flaws, identifying your insecurities, identifying anything that takes you away from being the best you. And that's just self-discovery, self-worth, self-awareness. Now, all of this obviously is tailored towards being in a successful, loving, and very strong relationship. So we kind of wanted to, since that's how our relationship is, we don't even think this is what our relationship is. We kind of wanted to go in together and kind of give you guys some keys on when you're ready and when you're not ready to be in a relationship, and how you can identify, like we said in the first one, identify these things and then know when you're not ready. Because when you're not ready for a relationship, you're putting you and that other person at risk of being heartbroken, damaging bonds, damaging families, all kinds of things. So while we're doing that, of course, you see she over here dropping that seasoning on the chicken.
Watch out now.
So
you know I got to.
Already. So my queen is getting together some jerk chicken. If you could kind of peep what she's throwing on there. Hopefully you can. If not, we hope you can take away the cooking part, but more importantly, the ideas and the message that we have for you guys.
Which is very dope. And I thank Adriel 100% for even coming up with this whole idea, because when he was first talking about it, these are some of the things that reminded me of a lot of mistakes that I made in previous relationships. Definitely. And a lot of things that I took into those relationships because I didn't have people like you or this type of message to help me in a process or before I got into a relationship. Because sometimes we think we're ready because of the feeling or because of the moment, but we don't be ready. And that's why we have exes, because had we knew better, we would have did better to avoid those type of circumstances.
Of course. So obviously we're not talking at you guys, we're talking with you guys, because we've all experienced things. And everything that we say and everything that we do is because we've experienced things, and it has helped us grow and mature
tremendously
as far as being in a relationship. So the first key we want to talk about is self-love. Now, you hear this all the time. You got to love yourself before you can love anybody else. And that's so true, because you have to be secure in yourself, and you have to love yourself that much to the point where you can shower that love to somebody else. Because if you still have feelings that you're insecure, your significant other might say something like, I got a bald head. Baby might say, oh, big old bald head. Now you hurt, your feelings hurt. This is just a small example that, just to expand on the bigger picture. Like now you holding a grudge against her because she talked about your head. You think she don't think you attractive because she said you got a big old head. You see her looking at somebody, you know what I'm saying?
You do got a big old head.
I do got a big head now. Ain't nobody good. You joking, man? You know,
I just
kidding.
Said. It's my big old head, though.
But loving yourself is something that took me a while, because I was always it was more or less trying to impress someone else, or trying to do something that I wouldn't normally do to get someone else's attention, instead of just being myself and attracting the people that would love me for me. Putting on the show is gonna always get you.
You could go ahead and mix this.
Oh, you want me to go ahead and mix it, babe? So putting on the show is just gonna get you caught up in the web of lies, because that's not who you really are. You're just trying to
Let me pour some of this excess water
Okay,
on.
yeah, get that water out of there.
I want to be pure
like,
seasoning.
Buying the we got a oopsie.
That's good.
Queen was telling me earlier, like, buying all. I mean, if you just like stuff just because you like to be fashionable, that's you.
But I was more so saying, like, when it comes down to the whole self-love part, what some of us, like, misdefine self-love. And I mean that by, just for my example, like, I thought when I hear the word self-love, I thought, well, I do love myself. I mean, I keep my hair done, I keep my nails done, you know, I keep up with myself, I dress fairly well. So I identify my self-love with the outside of me, not knowing that there was a big, big, big inside that needed some self-love that I didn't even think about. So when I heard the word self-love, I was like, well, I love myself because this is that the third, although I was still battling insecurities, still battling certain things, and would dress up the outside to make it seem like all is well, but on the inside, it was a whole different battlefield.
Putting on the mask.
Yeah. So that's how I identify my self-love. So that's why I was like, when it comes to self-love, let's try to like break it down to, you know, to let people know, you know, the meaning or
knowing that you're not perfect and you're not always going to do everything right. You're going to make mistakes. You have flaws because everyone does. Not looking at somebody else and getting jealous because you think that they have this perfect relationship, because everybody's perfect. Everybody's happiness ain't the same as yours.
That's right. And that's why it's important to love yourself first before you can love anybody else, because you don't want to take those insecurities, those doubts, those inside battles into a relationship that you think you're ready for. And trust me, I've done it numerous of times. So that's why I can attest to it. So yeah, self-love is very important. Good one, babe.
So the next key is going to be self-control. Controlling your emotions, controlling your feelings, controlling your temper, controlling bad habits.
Yes.
And more importantly, what we really don't like to talk about, a lot of people don't like to talk about, is controlling your lust.
Basically, so, that's really important.
One thing about that I had, you know what I'm saying, I ain't perfect, ain't nobody perfect, but I had to really sit down and, you know, you have this conversation with yourself, you have this conversation with God, like, this is the person that I want to be with. And even if you guys don't make it to see a lifelong marriage, out of respect for yourself and that person, you, like, when you see, just because you see a Bentley, you know what I'm saying, don't mean it's going to drive like your Camry. You know what I'm saying? Your Camry get better gas mileage. The tires last longer. You know what I'm saying? The seat's a little bit more comfortable. So even though you might see something that you think might, look at, she might look a little better. But my woman cooked for me. Let me tell y'all, she cooked for me. She makes sure I'm fed all the time. If I'm hurting, she gonna rub my back. She complimented me all the time. She glorifies me. She uplifts me. She's everything.
It's easy because that's within, and that's how I feel about myself. So it's easy to do those things because it's a reflection of yourself. That's why it comes so easy. And it's not like I do it just to do it. I do it because that's really what it is. That's reality. And people like to hear compliments.
Definitely.
Like, you could see something and you know, because of your ego and your pride, you won't even tell a person, oh, that's nice, or even thank you for that, you know. So it just comes so natural. But when it comes down to self-control, and these are one of the things that really needs to be mastered before you get into a relationship. Because the last thing you do want to do is drag somebody in with some already addictions that you have going on that you clearly know that you're not free of. And it's not fair to drag someone else into it and think, you know, it's okay just because you did it, and then you say you're sorry and then you're going to do it again. But why not get rid of all of that, whatever it is?
Before you even commit. Yeah,
you know, get all that out, because hurting people, you know, bringing people into something that your battles is, you know, it's kind of not cool. And then on top of that, the biggest thing for me that helped me get me right when it came down to self-control is I always reap what I sow.
Definitely.
So if I hurt somebody, you best to believe when it came back on me, it was like 10 times worse. Like, I mean, you can only imagine how the other person felt. And there's nobody exempt from that. So that like was a big help for me when it came down to mastering and controlling self-control. So.
And that ties into your emotions, your feelings, because a lot of times you'll do something out of anger for no reason and not having control over your. Oh my gosh, it so good.
It smells so good. But listen, before we go any deeper, we're gonna go ahead and get these babies on the grill. We're dealing with a little bit of daylight savings right now, so we're gonna go ahead and get these babies on the grill, and we'll meet you guys out the door.
Bye-bye.
Watch out now.
Bye guys.
Watch out now. Okay, so welcome back to the collaboration of the LCL Show.
Welcome back.
With me, Tasha, and Adriel. So what we got going on right now is we're done grilling our jerk chicken. Oh my goodness, which is phenomenal, by the way. But not to lose focus, we want to go ahead and get back into, if you think you're ready for a relationship, you're probably not, and this is why. So I know one of the ones we left off with was self-control, which is a big thing. But now we want to go ahead and go into sacrifice, which is a very big ordeal because that's a lot of things. There was a lot of sacrifices even in our relationship.
So did.
A lot of sacrifices.
Especially Fortnite.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So that is very important. And I mean, it's sometimes even doing something that the other person want to do that either you probably never done before or sometimes don't feel like doing. But it don't always have to be about you, you know?
Selflessness.
Yes. And you taught me a lot of that, a lot of selflessness. Because I used to ask him why he do some of the things that he do and why he go out his way so much. And then he's like, because I'm selfless. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, he was showing me versus like talking to me and telling me he was doing it in his actions. Like, I never had to question or ask him, did he love me, because he was always showing me. And that was a big deal because in previous relationships, I used to have to ask it, you know, because the actions wasn't adding up with what the person was saying out of his mouth.
Actions always speak louder than words.
Always. And I've just learned that through action, being in this relationship. But sacrifices is very, very important. And I know you made a lot of sacrifices for me. And like, what are some of the things like you want to touch on when it comes to sacrifice?
Basically, you gotta sacrifice everything.
Communication,
money, for your person, money, all of it comes with it. But
friends,
it's all gonna come back, and it's always gonna be better, and it's gonna be worth it in the end because you found a life partner. You know what I'm saying? Your friends. How many friends that you think about friends that you used to have 5 years ago, and you want to put your friends before your relationship, but think about, do you even talk to them anymore? Most of the times you don't. You have one or two friends that you hold on to for a lifetime.
And even with the influence of those friends,
definitely.
Too. A lot of people can't seem to, you know, not even let their friend go, but you know, if it's not adding any value to your relationship,
you gotta let them go.
And especially if it's causing conflict.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's a good definition of sacrifice when it comes down to certain friends. Communication is very important. Now that you're not by yourself, it's very important.
That's a huge deal.
Develop that.
Huge deal. Because we talk about anything. If something happens and she ain't like it, she finna come tell me. She not finna sit on it. She not finna sit there and ponder or continue to get mad most of the time. And if we do get into a little debacle, we agree to disagree and you keep it moving. Because that's holding on to grudges, that's going to all come back to negativity that you don't want in your relationship.
Never going to sleep mad. Like,
never.
I tried that before and it sucked.
It ain't it.
I couldn't even get any sleep, man.
It
was
come
horrible.
Back over here.
Oh my God, your chicken is so good.
It's too good. I've been dabbling in it too. And trust, man. And trust starts with yourself. Because if you don't trust yourself to do everything we just talked about, there's no way you can trust somebody else because you're gonna recognize it in yourself that, and you're just gonna take it out on the other person, and it always fails. It always fails. So all of these things kind of start with yourself and carry into a relationship, and you build. She's my other half, so you really only half a person. So when you get that half right, you're able to bring the other half into you, and then you get that coercion, that satisfying love that you always been looking for. But and don't rush into it. You don't have to.
And that's what we're talking about these days, because if you develop all this, it might take a little time, so there is no rushing. Don't be afraid to get to know yourself, and don't be afraid to ever change, to want better out of life, out of your relationship.
And don't let nobody hold you back from changing, because people gonna always hate on you. People gonna, oh, he don't do this no more, it's gonna be there, but you gotta be willing to, that's when you gotta bring out your scissors and cut them off.
That's right, you guys. Well, we thank you guys so much for listening to our episode.
Sorry you can't get none of this chicken.
But that's okay. We'll definitely enjoy it for you. We got to put on some festival. We're going to do some plantains. Watch out now. We about to come through. I'm ready to eat.
Me too.
Oh, my goodness.
Already.
The chicken smelling good. You cutting up. You chopping.
This is the last piece right here. We going in.
Watch out now.
Couldn't find it nowhere else, like Mari said, so we had to make it ourselves.
Watch out now. So you guys, thank you so much, and stay tuned to the next episode, and we look forward to seeing and hearing feedback from you guys.